May I invite retired Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, Professor of Practice from IIT Madras.
Independent nodal umbrella body for testing and certification requirement, there are some necessity factors. Atmanirbharta and defense exports, which are on the left, have been identified beautifully in your concept note. But there's a major problem of operational effectiveness, which has to be kicked in when you talk of these testing and certification facilities. And there is also an issue of modernization, which is ongoing, which the Prime Minister also spoke of. When you put all these four together, the requirement of testing and facilities goes up quite a bit. Next slide, please. Yeah. What are the drivers of this nodal umbrella body? I'm not going to dispute the fact that you need an umbrella body. That's a must. You have to be clear that we are in an expanded operational and environment setting where the high altitude factor has come in a big manner. And we don't have high altitude facilities. IOR in plains and deserts always existed. And this is a major problem with us. Your volume and variety are going to go up because modern systems are going to come, legacy systems are going to stay. We have a 30 to 40 year period for any system in service. Then the user compact has expanded. We should not look at only defense. We should also look at security, disaster management, aviation, which are coterminous requirements, for which I think it'll do the country a lot of good. When you look at equipment, there's another strange thing which is happening. I won't say strange, it's a logical thing. All equipment are increasing the ranges, they're increasing the sustainability capability with the increased electronics content and complex explosives. So your defense testing and certification system and training and trial system has to cater for this. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I would like to call it, I'm talking of the scope. I wouldn't like to call it testing and certification matrix. I would like to call it training, trials, testing, and certification because they're all interrelated. On the left, if you see, what are the activities? The ones in the red, I've red flagged them. Long range firing facility, high altitude firing facility, aerospace testing centers, we lack. We have to have them. Otherwise, we are in trouble. Right? When you come down, you're talking of standard proofing, assembly, sub-assembly testing centers, and component level testing, which are plenty. We have to aggregate them because we don't have enough knowledge about it. Now, what are the first three required for? They're required for training, they're required for R&D, trials, modification, and upgrades. Your requirements are more than what you have. Who are the ones who are going to use it? Services, development agencies, and production agencies. I would say the aerospace testing centers, the defense corridors also would have, which Mr. Bansal just spoke. When you come to the lower level, they're basically for acceptance, batch proofing, life extensions, and all that. Because life extension modification also takes defense testing hell of a lot. I have personal experience that I've not been able to induct guns. I've not been able to induct ammunition because it gets stuck to the testing. It gets stuck at proofing. We cannot have that. It gets stuck at doing life extensions. So who are the ones here? You have QA personnel, defense corridors, and production agencies. Next. Right, this is the thing which we had made, which is the Ulundurpet. I've said, let me give you a feel of what will actually come up. Depends. Why I'm putting this is, if you see, you can start with 2 crores and go to 15 crores investment. You could get some results out and go to something else. So you could go incrementally to where you want. You don't have to, go off the whole route. And these are places which are lying there with no one using there. People are, disused runways ke upar mirchi sukate hain. So can we use it? For the past 2 years, I've been struggling for this, and we have not made this thing. Okay, I'm just putting a point across. So we need to move fast. Right, next. My recommendations. I think we need to look beyond the Department of Defense production. Look at it in a national view, because this is a greenfield opportunity. We need to do something good. You need to assess the overall requirement through an expert committee. Because at this point of time, I don't think, from what I've heard from everyone and what I know personally, we don't have the breadth, the range of what we need. Need a roadmap under MOD with huge interface of the users, because the users need this as much as the industry needs these things. And in many cases, let me take it from me, I've inducted 4-5 missile systems and gun systems into service. Unless I helped the industry, they couldn't go through. Unless I took help from the industry, I couldn't go through. So there's an interface required. We need to consolidate and aggregate availability, capability with services, DRDO, DGQS, civil sectors, and IITs. IITs have tremendous capability. We have not mapped it. We don't know how to use it. That's my sincere feeling. We need to create new capability of testing and certification centers based on our SOS requirement. Only then we should go in for it. But what we are mandate, we need definitely start. Right, here is the methodology. You need to have a prioritized aggregator model based on digitalization. Something like what Uber does, what Amazon does. We are all aggregators. So if you can get the whole lot together, you know what you have, where it is, and aggregate it in terms of an app, digitalize it, and then give it. And then, of course, some will have exclusive rights, some will have specialized rights or specialized testing, some will be shared and public access rights. That prioritization you might have to do, but we have to do it. How will you do it unless you sit on it? We need to build transparency, approachability, and usability into it. Now, explosive testing is a niche facility. Not everyone can do explosive testing. Outside DGQA and DRDO, the only 3 people who can do explosive testing in India are IITM, which is in a very small manner, ISRO and DAE. You need to incorporate them. Similarly, you need to look at places where someone also had said, how do you go out for niche facilities, niche capabilities, right? We need to do that. For anything to do with nuclear, we must go back to ISRO and DAE. So we need to, have those radials out, right? Why I'm saying is this IIT Madras Research Park is a great model. Mr. Sanjay Jaju will recall that we had a visit there. That's a fantastic model. It's an aggregated model where 200 startups sitting there and doing the thing. Why don't we have testing centers, say 2 or 3 in each zone, wherever we feel we should have, where defense industry is concentrated, where all kinds of testing facilities are there, and then you have a process-driven system where a chap with a test, he gets a test result, it doesn't go immediately anywhere else. It has to go through a process so that defense accreditation takes place as per your requirements. Our major problem of not taking, self-certification and all that is, we don't know what this fellow is going to manufacture tomorrow, certificate he's going to come and give to us. And once, even if he gives a certificate, you take it, you pay him, and tomorrow it might not function. So you need to have traceability of the entire certification process. For that, you need this aggregated model in the research park mode. It is something which we have to think of. And I think I won't say IIT, the TIDCO and Tamil Nadu government has done something about it because they were trying to set up research centers through Siemens and, Rafale and all that. So that model is there with them. If we can tap into that model, you will get a fantastic thing for certification and testing at a pan-India level. Major nodes must be based on defense corridors. If today the defense corridors do not own a node, do not own any testing center, the strength of a defense corridor is the strength of a defense corridor is the testing.
General Shankar, General Shankar, you have very good points. Unfortunately, we are short on time.
Yeah. There's a last 2 points. You need to have a major national node at Delhi, and you need to have a shared funding come self-generating basis, which we can talk of later. Thank you. Any questions? I'm prepared to take on.
Thank you. Thank you.